Hello once again. On a more serious note today, pun fully intended, music remains one of the most profound forces connecting us as human beings. Across all eras and cultures, it has been a refuge, a form of communication that transcends words and reaches directly into the soul. Whether it takes the refined shape of a classical symphony by Beethoven or the rebellious energy of rock with AC/DC, the aggression of punk and the Sex Pistols, the calm pastoral folk of Caravan maybe, the angst of grunge and Nirvana, and the experimentation of new wave like Roxy Music, or the raw storytelling of rap from someone like Ren Gill. And each genre speaks to something deeply human. Every listener finds meaning in their own rhythm, their own soundscape, and music has an almost supernatural ability to carry memory. As the old saying goes, music has charms to soothe the savage breast. Simple melodies can transport us back years to moments we thought had faded from existence. We might be absorbed by today's headlines of personal worries, but then a familiar tune emerges on the radio or in a cafe or drifting from someone else's window. And suddenly time travelling back in on itself. We're back in that car, that room, the summer evening, and even the faint aroma of a perfume long forgotten. Music doesn't recall the past. It reawakens the emotion that once defined it. And for me, no genre is off limits. Each carries a different emotional texture, and I find comfort in exploring all of them. When melancholy sets in or the day feels heavy, I often let YouTube endless playlists take control without any interruption or advert. There's something strangely liberating about surrendering to the algorithm to let the software, not the self, decide what emotional direction to take. And it becomes a quiet companion, a reminder that even in solitude, music provides a dialogue. As for radio, it has lost its charm. Modern broadcasts seem less about music and more about endless insane chatter and the same inane commentary from presenters trying too hard to explain. And the constant interruption breaks the mood. They turn what should be a journey of reflection into a mere background noise. Music doesn't need someone to explain it. It speaks perfectly well for itself, crossing languages and generations without commentary. In the end, music remains humanity's living archive, an unbroken thread running from the earliest drumbeat to the latest electronic pulse. It comforts us in loneliness, revives forgotten feelings, and offers perspective when life becomes overwhelming. In a world saturated with information and noise, music continues to be the one language that quiets the mind while awakening the heartstrings. And the air of this season we are coming up to now echoes in my soul. A phantom note from long ago. I see again a church candlelit and breathing incense the hush before the note from a small boy's throat. I was that boy. A choir, a robe too long at the sleeves, heart beating much faster than it should, in the bleak midwinter drifted out of my mouth. Trembling, yet true, and for a moment the world held its breath. The congregation was a sea of faces, half lost in the shadow. Yet the sound remains clear, perfect, untouched by time's decay. I hear it still, the fragile silver thread of a song stretching across decades, binding the child I was to the man who listens now. And when it finds me, the past shivers awake, and for an instant all seasons meet in that single note of eternity. My perfect pitch voice has long surrendered to cigarettes and alcohol, but the memory remains strong, and I can still feel the essence of that moment even now. In a world obsessed with speed and distraction, maybe music is one thing that still reminds us how to be present and how to feel alive. And a world that never stops talking, but maybe music is the one thing still teaching us how to listen. So, thank you for listening to me for just a while. And by the way, sharing this may help someone else understand the power that music can bring to all of us. And not forgetting that if music is the food of love, then play on forever. Bye-bye.